make this real clear. Closing is dead. It's outdated, it's manipulative, and it's lazy. If you still think sales is about closing, you're not leading. You are begging. Because real sales, the kinds that changes lives and builds empires, is not about closing people. It's about opening them. Opening trust, opening truth, opening decisions. You're not supposed to push people into a yes. You're supposed to help them see what's already true. Welcome to Bosses, Not Beggars, the podcast for entrepreneurs and sales professionals who are done begging for permission and ready to build with power, psychology, and presence. I'm Vivian Weyll, the sales queen, and today I'm going to destroy every old school closing tactic you've ever been taught and replace it with what actually works in 2025 and beyond.
This is Bosses, Not Beggars, the podcast for entrepreneurs, leaders, and sales pros who refuse to chase scraps. Here, presence replaces pressure, alignment replaces manipulation, and influence builds empires. If you're ready to trade excuses for ownership and hustle for true freedom, you're in the right place. Welcome to the movement. Bosses, Not Beggars, with Vivian Weyll, the sales queen.
Let's get this straight. Closing is a term built on pressure. It was created in an era where buyers didn't have power, when the guy with the briefcase could out-talk you, out-manipulate you, and you didn't even know better. Their world, baby, is gone. Your buyer today, they've watched 10 YouTube videos, compared 5 competitors, and already decided what they think about you before you even speak. So if you come in trying to close them, congratulations. You just triggered every wall they've ever built. Do you want to know why people resist you? Because you were trying to end the conversation instead of expand it. The word closing is rooted in control. And that's exactly why it doesn't work anymore. If you are still trying to close people, you are selling from fear, not from power. Power doesn't need to convince. Power opens the room and lets the truth breathe. You don't close clients, you open clarity. You don't close deals, you open possibilities. And that's why the top 0.0001% of closers on the planet don't even use that word anymore. Let's talk psychology for a second, because this is where 99% of the people blow it. Every decision your buyer makes goes through one of 3 psychological gates: safety, clarity, and ownership. You want to master influence? Learn how to open all 3. Number 1, safety. You cannot sell to a nervous system that doesn't feel safe. Period. I don't care how good your script is. If your tone, your energy, or presence feels off, they shut down. Your first 90 seconds aren't about your product. They are about telling their subconscious mind, you are safe here. I'm not here to manipulate you. Sales doesn't start with words. It starts with regulation. Number 2, clarity. Most people sell through confusion. They dump information, features, proof, trying to sound smart. But smart doesn't sell. Safety does. Clarity sells. When people say, I need to think about it, they don't need to think about anything. They just need clarity. Your job is to open awareness, to ask questions that cut through that fog. Number 3, ownership. Stop trying to convince people. You can't talk someone into transformation. You can only lead them to take ownership of their truth. When they own it, the decision becomes automatic. The strongest salespeople I know don't force yes. They build self-trust. This is influence at the highest level, not tricking people into decisions, but guiding them into their own alignment. That is what bosses do. Let's call it out. Beggars pressure people to buy. Bosses empower people to decide. Beggars chase the yes. Bosses create safety for truth. Beggars close conversations. Bosses open possibilities. Beggars control. Bosses connect. You don't need to close anyone. You need to connect so deeply that yes becomes the only logical next step. That's not manipulation. That is mastery. Here's your boss move of the week. Stop preparing for your next call like a closer. I want you to start doing it like a psychologist. Before your next sales call, I want you to ask yourself, how can I make this person feel safe in the first 90 seconds? What questions will open more clarity than any pitch ever could? How can I lead them to own their truth, even if that means saying no? Because real sales isn't about control. It's about collaboration. You don't close the call. You open the connection. Stop calling yourself a closer. Closers are replaceable. Openers are unforgettable. The world doesn't need more hustlers who can push people into buying things they don't need. The world needs leaders who open people's potentials. When you open people, you open possibilities bigger than the sale. If you lead with truth, safety, and presence, your clients will follow you anywhere because energy doesn't lie, and neither do results. So ask yourself, are you closing people or are you opening them? Because the answer to that question determines whether you are building clients or building a legacy. Bosses don't chase. Bosses don't pressure. Bosses open. And if this episode hit home, share it, tag me, and DM me what part punched you in the gut the hardest. And if you are ready to master this level of psychology and precision that turns closers into category leaders, grab my free training, The Influence Code, at vivianweyll.com. Follow Bosses Not Beggars wherever you're listening, and connect with me on Instagram at VIWeyll and Bosses Not Beggars, because the next era of sales is leadership. And leaders don't close, they open. I'll see you next time.